Well, today I'm with Andrew Ditton. Very excited to meet you.
Hello! Has to be done.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it does. And Dougal.
And Dougal, the star of the show. The star of the show.
Finally got to meet Dougal.
Yeah.
Hey, hello. Super friendly.
Yeah.
So, first off, I just wanted to say how amazing Andrew has been with the whole planning of this trip. Like, this trip would have been completely different without your input and your introduction to the right people.
Just sent a couple of emails, that's all.
Wow. You've got a lot of experience with caravans. Can you tell me how you got into it?
I got into caravans, well, in nappies really. My parents took me before I even remember, and I think my mum's proudest moment is being in a caravan with no facilities, and I was 6 months old and had diarrhea. And this was in the days before disposable nappies. She was washing nappies under a tap, and I had a bad stomach. And yeah, so I came into caravanning in nappies. Until I was 4 years old, we would go down to Spain with our caravan, and then when my parents started working a bit more, we would go every year to a campsite about 45 minutes from our hometown of Dover. And my nan would take my brother and I, and we would spend the entire summers there. So it was the formative years of my childhood was spent in a caravan.
And then when did you buy your first caravan?
Well, my first caravan I inherited at the age of 14. It was the family caravan. It was a 69 Thompson Glenmore. We had a disastrous holiday in 1984 when we broke down in France, going down to Spain, and my mum said never again. She was just done with caravanning.
Okay.
So we still went with my grandmother to Whitstable, and my dad said, well, okay, as an early 21st birthday present at the age of 14, you can have the caravan because you love it so much. 3 years of begging people to tow it for me to sight it so I could take my nan, because it started off she would look after us, and it ended up that I would look after my gran. And then at the age of 17 I passed my test and I could tow it myself.
That's actually really inspiring.
I just loved it. He saw I loved it, and I did some work with it. I joined the Thompson Owners Club. I became secretary of the Thompson Owners Club at the age of 18. So I used to love rallying. It's a way you can be independent but with people around you, and I really like that. So you're sort of independent but within a community, and that's always appealed to me about caravanning.
I like that. That's a really nice phrase.
Yeah.
Then you've gotten to Airstream. What motivated you to get your first Airstream caravan?
So I've had an Airstream for 10 years, and what motivated me was that I went to the caravan show at Earl's Court in London, must have been about 15 years ago. And as a perception exercise, the Caravan Club, as it was then, had an Airstream on its stand. And Starsky and Hutch were there, and I'd kind of seen these American silver things briefly in the 80s on a trip to America, but I hadn't really paid much attention to them. This was the first time I'd seen an Airstream in the flesh, and I was absolutely blown away by it. It was just, oh my goodness, it was a life goal. I've got to have one of these, and I was desperate to have an Airstream once I saw that. And that was about 5 years before they even started bringing them into the UK. Because I think they were seeing whether or not it was going to be worth paying all the development costs to make a European marketable Airstream. And I think the amount of interest it caused at Earl's Court said yes, it is worth doing. It was 2006, 2007 that the first European Airstreams arrived in the UK. And I was asked, because I was working for Caravan magazine then, if I would take one out for 3 days or a week or something, one of the first Airstreams. And it was a 532, the same one I've got now. And it just blew me away. It was just, yes, this is it. I will sell a kidney, I will mortgage everything just to get one of these, and that's what I did, and I've had an Airstream ever since.
But we're in a slightly different caravan right now.
I got to admit, my name is Andrew, and I'm a caravan enthusiast. This is Glynis. Glynis is a 1971 Sprite Alpine C. This thing is so light, fully laden, it weighs 750 kilos. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah.
And I guess too, there's a nostalgic element. Glynis was restored by an enthusiast, a member of the Retro Caravan Club.
Oh, great.
And we did the deal, and I brought Glynis home. And we're midway through a little micro renovation. So Steve, the guy who sold it to me, he did all the structural stuff, so it's all watertight and everything works. He's put the mains electrics in and all this kind of thing. I'm just doing soft stuff, so like the cushions. Yeah, the cushions were nearly 50 years old. I couldn't sleep on the cushions, so we're in the middle of renovating the cushions. We've got new foams. We're just waiting to get them upholstered. I mean, Glynis was a shade over £2,000.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
it is amazing. So she's lightweight. Yeah, she's basic. It's a foot pump. There's gas lighting.
But there's something nice about the simplicity.
I love it.
It works.
Yeah. It works. You can fix it if it goes
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And I just want to show people with my YouTube channel the fun you can have with a very basic, cheap, lightweight caravan.
And now we're going for a trip to a caravan dealer. I'm just kind of keen to, I don't know, just get some of Andrew's opinions on some of the caravans there and make use of his knowledge, basically.
Oh, the effort. Smile, Dougal. Smile. Sit. Stay there. Oh! Really swish, isn't it?
Wow, look at the room. This must be an 8 foot.
This is an 8-footer. So my top tip, if you're buying a caravan, caravanning is all about relaxing. So my top tip is take off your shoes, take off your coat, and make yourself at home. Oh wow. I always simulate using the kitchen. So have you got room for washing up? Now I would have maybe liked a bit more work surface here, a little poppy uppy, because if you've got a draining board here, you've not got a huge amount of workspace, although if you're not using the cooker, you have. See, I like this kind of thing too, attention to detail, where you can actually put your phone. You've actually got a shelf to put your phone, and it's plugged into the USB outlet here. But have you got space for a cup of tea in the morning? Yeah, you can put your cup of tea up there. Because again, this is one of life's pleasures. Caravanning is all about having fun and a bit of a luxury break. And what's more luxurious than sitting in bed in the morning with a cup of tea? It's just simple pleasures. No shaver socket, but that's fairly normal. I've only seen one dealer special premium caravan that's ever had shaver sockets.
Wow.
I like this layout because you've got the French bed, and I'm a fan of the French bed. You see, and on this one, see, we got a nice. See, that's what we missed on the Pegasus. It's a lovely big kitchen. See, this is nice and bright. You've got a nice roof light here.
It's big.
It is big, and it's all on a single axle. Little tail rail. I mean, silly thing, but don't be shy, folks. Have you got room to sit on the loo? And again, this is a really sensible place to put the radiator, because sometimes you get a manufacturer will put a radiator here and you can burn your legs on it.
And then what do you know, this caravan is going to be shipped to New Zealand. What's the chance? And I've enjoyed having a look around at all the accessories here. It's just, I don't know, it's just a bit more difficult to get caravan accessories in New Zealand. So I got a little excited seeing these. I'm going to get these. They're for the aqua roll, and I always nearly lose them, and it'll be a bit difficult to get replacements. So I'll just buy them here. Easy to take home as well. Another thing I'm thinking about is this. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to think about this one, but that would be quite handy too.
So what got you started on YouTube?
A long time ago, about 10 years ago, I bought a nice camera for my magazine work, a Canon 5D Mark II. and this camera had video on it. And I didn't really buy it for the video, but I was doing a little project for Bailey Caravans. So I was doing that for Caravan magazine, but I thought, well, I've got this video function, I'll make a little film about it as well. And it was a vlog before vlogging was even a thing.
That's awesome.
I put it on my YouTube channel, and Caravan magazine put it on theirs, and it's still, by modern standards, it hasn't really done much in the way of figures, because people just didn't watch YouTube videos then, and you were limited to 15 minutes and all this kind of thing. So that kind of started me off, and then the next phase was discovering the Outer Hebrides and wanting to share that with people and say to people, look at this place, it's amazing. Gosh, look at it, look. And then a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to take redundancy from my job on the railway, and after years of shift work, because I'm only 30, 23, well, on ferries before that, so after over 25 years of shift work, really for health reasons, because shift work is not good for your health, I decided to try and make a go of YouTube full-time.
So how many years is that now?
That has been, doing YouTube full-time has been a shade over 2 years.
Yeah.
I left the railway 2.5 years ago. I spent the first 3 months finishing my exams at university, because I can't multitask.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. And random side note, what were you learning at university?
Scottish Gaelic.
That's amazing.
Yes, yeah, Gaelic agam sick, yeah, Gaelic agam
I love it. I love it. Because you know the caravan industry, what would you like to see changed?
I think for me, I would like better recognition from the industry that people are not just buying a product, they're buying a dream, and it's such an emotional purchase, a caravan. And I would like to see better after-sales support from dealers and from caravan manufacturers. Mm-hmm. Another thing I'd like to see changed in this industry is that I think there's too much of the phrase, if you've always done what you always did, you'll always get what you'd always got. I think people are too frightened in this industry to take risks and encourage innovation. And what I've seen, I'll give you a classic example, is that there are some great caravans out there in Europe that we don't get to see in the UK, because the manufacturers will take those to the dealers and say, look at this lovely new caravan or this new concept. We would like to make this and sell this in the UK. And the dealers will say, that'll never sell, because we don't sell those, because people will only buy this caravan. I feel that dealers are holding too much power over the manufacturers as regards innovation, because they're too frightened. They're putting their own capital behind the stock that they're selling. So who can blame them for being conservative? They want to put their money what they know is going to sell. So again, this model of the dealers needing to put all their capital into the stock, so they know they can only stock what they know is going to sell, means that there's no room for innovation there. There's no room for a manufacturer to say, we would like, there's no room for risk.